Good morning, I'm Councillor Glen, and this morning is October 21st, Saturday, October 21st. This morning I'm on Allan Moore Place at another one of our community's great Halloween displays. So if you can see that a little bit behind me, lots going on here. The windows are boarded up. There's some kind of experimental activity happening in the garage, and skeletons all over the place. Allan Moore Place is in Potters Quay. It's off of Kimpton, kind of between Kimpton and Samantha East Stop. So if you want to come check it out, please do. And there's lots of other great houses in the neighborhood decorated for Halloween. Around Halloween, there's a little contest happening right now between all the rec centers across the city, including CARDELREC, and they're trying to see which rec center can collect the most items for their local food bank. So if you can, pick up a little bit extra in your groceries, some canned goods, some cereal, some non-perishable items, and bring them over to the rec center and drop them off. It's a bit of a bragging rights from community to community, and a great way to encourage more collections for our local food bank here in Stittsville. On a really serious note, I spoke last week about what's happening in Israel and the impact on Ottawa's Jewish community, and I did want to take some time here also about what we're seeing in Gaza and how it's affecting the Palestinian community. I know there are a lot of people here in Stittsville and in Ottawa who have family and friends who are being affected by this humanitarian crisis, and I wanted to mention a number of relief organizations, groups here in Canada that are doing fundraising in order to support people who've been affected and try to get some relief and aid into that area. There is the Red Cross and Red Crescent, always good organizations whenever there is humanitarian crisis or whenever there is a natural disaster. Specific to what's going on right now in Gaza, there's two charities in Canada, IslamicReliefCanada.org and HumanConcern.org. They are both the organizations that are specifically raising funds and directing that to people who need humanitarian aid in Gaza. So please check that out. And our thoughts are with everyone in our community who's been affected by this conflict and by this war. We had lots going on in the last week, one of the busier weeks in a while, so I'll try to give you some highlights here. First of all, I want to go back to last Saturday afternoon and the great event on Baywood Drive, Treat Accessibly, and I want to say a big thank you to all of the residents on Baywood who participated and all of the volunteers and organizers with Treat Accessibly. This was an event for kids who find it difficult to do the normal usual Halloween stuff, and they had an alternate Halloween event on Saturday afternoon on Baywood Drive. It was just a really special event, so thanks to everyone who participated. On Tuesday evening, on my way home from an OCH board meeting, I dropped by the Goulbourn Museum, where they were celebrating the opening of their new history center, their local history center for the public, for researchers, anyone who's interested. The showpiece of that, let's say, is an archive of Stittsville newspapers going back to 1959. It was collected and organized by the late John Curry, and it's now available for anyone to come and use for research purposes. John's sister and brother, Jane and Jim, were there as part of the opening, and really great to see a permanent home for John's collection. It's just an invaluable historical resource for our community, so that's great. This week we had some forestry activities in our community, not too far from here over at Joe Louis Park in Potters Quay. There were a number of trees planted, and over at Ladybird Park, just a little bit to the west in the Timbermere neighborhood, some reforestation. These areas were hit hard by the derecho, and also, Ladybird Park in particular has had a lot of issues with emerald ash borer and invasive species over the past few years. So a total of 375 trees planted between the two parks, and we've got some photos on my Facebook page and Instagram page as well. And this morning, after I'm done this video, I'm going to head over and say hi to the Eco West Enders. They are doing a tree planting over in Sweetnam, and I understand we did a call for volunteers, and they had so much help, more help than they needed. So thank you to everybody who expressed an interest in helping out with the tree planting. And if there's other groups who'd like to look into organizing a community tree planting activity, this is a great way to foster some community spirit and to get more trees planted in our community. So please reach out to my office, and let's work on that, because I'd love to see more community tree planting activities. On volunteers, I want to remind folks about Volunteer Connect. We set this up a couple years ago, and it is basically an email list where you can get alerts about volunteer opportunities. We send emails out maybe once a week maximum, probably once every 2 weeks, and there's about 500 or 600 people who have signed up for that list. Some high school students, some adults, all sorts of people. And so if you're looking for ways to help out in the community, please sign up for that. And if you're a community organization looking for volunteers, just email us the info, and we'd be happy to share that with Volunteer Connect. We've had some really great stories of connecting organizations and people with volunteers in the community. Really positive stuff. I know one volunteer opportunity, I don't think we've posted it yet, but we will be soon, is the Stittsville Village Association is organizing the annual Parade of Lights on Stittsville Main Street, and it's at the beginning of December. I think December 2nd, if that's a Saturday night, and they're looking for volunteers to help man the barricades along the parade route. It's a really easy volunteer activity. You get front row seats to the parade, or not seats, you'll be standing, but if you'd like to help out, contact the Stittsville Village Association or my office, and we can connect you with them. Also this week had a chance, I wanted to mention this, excuse me, I had a chance to do a ride along on Transpo with a resident named Sally Thomas. She lives downtown, and she's a really active advocate for Transpo and transit issues. So we did a short trip on Transpo to the grocery store and back, and had a really excellent discussion about some of the improvements that she'd like to see for Transpo, and what works and what doesn't right now. So thank you again, Sally, for inviting me along to that. Had a meeting on Monday evening with some residents in Wildwood about some police concerns. And one reminder out of that I wanted to say is Neighbourwood Watch. If you're a resident and you have concerns about neighborhood safety, this is a great program that is run by the Ottawa Police, Neighbourwood Watch. It's active in communities all over North America, but it's a great way to connect residents and provide a really good two-way communication channel between neighborhoods and police. We don't have a lot of them here in Stittsville. We have a few, and some of them more active than others. But if you'd like more information, go to the ottawapolice.ca website or chat with me. We'd be happy to connect you with our community police officer and other resources at Ottawa Police who can help me with your community and help you get that going. Pardon me. Upcoming. Let's see. Cloverloft Court. If you live on Cloverloft, there's going to be some temporary road closures November 1st to 7th so that Hydro Ottawa can bring in a big crane and replace some hydro poles in the backyards there. Shea Road, October 30th, is the target date to have all of that paved and all of that construction finally finished. I think they've run into some issues with the weather, but and the end is in sight for that. Huntmar and Maple Grove intersection. If you live in Fairwinds or if you travel through that area, you'll know that that is under construction. I spoke with the project manager yesterday. Work is going really, really well. As long as the weather cooperates, they're planning to do the paving, the first week of November, and then the line painting after that, and then the traffic light installation. So they're really hoping to have all that done before the snow comes. And then there's still maybe a little bit of work to do in the spring, but in terms of the paving, the new lanes, the new traffic signals, with some advanced turning signals and everything, that is on track to be done this year, which is really, really good. Posted something on my website about Brae and Stittsville Main Street. So if you live in the Cypress Garden area, it's not good news. We had a traffic study done to add a signal at Brae and Stittsville Main, and unfortunately it did not meet the criteria to have one installed. Now it's a setback. It doesn't mean there will never be a light there, but the simplest, easiest, quickest route to get it would have been if the intersection had met the warrant criteria. So it did not, so we need to kind of go back to the drawing board and look for other strategies, other ways to fund that. It's about $1 million to $2 million to install a traffic light at that location. I do think it's needed, but the easy route is not available to us, so we're going to keep working on that. This week, October 26th, there is a webinar. It's the latest in the city's wildlife speaker series, and it is about bats and about the role bats play in our ecology. So if you're interested in that, well timed for Halloween. There's information on my website and at ottawa.ca. Other upcoming events and activities this weekend. Let's see. Oktoberfest, that's kind of hard to say, is at Johnny LaRue Arena from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. It is a local craft and vendor show, so check that out if you're interested. There's suppers or dinners at St. Thomas Church tonight and Stittsville United Church tonight. You can find all sorts of event listings on my website, glengower.ca/events. A couple reminders. Let's see. Queensway closure. Yes, the Queensway is closed downtown at Percy in both directions. So if you're heading anywhere into the downtown or into the East End this weekend, plan ahead, find an alternate route, use OC Transpo. It is not easy to get around there. It is peak leaf and yard waste season, so a reminder that because of that, yard waste, if you put those in the separate bags, may not be picked up until as late as 8 p.m. Usually for garbage and recycling and compost, the target is to have everything picked up by 6 p.m., but because there's such a huge volume of leaves, 8 p.m. is a window that staff have to pick that up. And finally, thank you to everyone who's participating in cleaning the Capitol. A number of community groups taking place this fall, and it's great to have all the volunteers and help to keep our community clean. So, thanks for watching this video on a weekly basis or listening to the podcast, and I hope you have a great weekend. I'll talk to you here next week. Take care.